Wow, those Sonic movies were awesome. I'm so glad they're making a third one. And Shadow's in it too? This is gonna be great! A real Sonic adventure. Hey, I wonder who's gonna play Shadow. Is that John Wick? Hi, I'm Jay Renzo, and it's 2024. Apparently, that means it's the year of Shadow. This is a pretty cool concept, dedicating an entire year to a character. It makes sense with how important Shadow is to the history of the Sonic franchise. He's one of the most popular Sonic characters there is. I remember being a wee little lad and seeing Sonic merch all around me. I could identify Sonic, Tails, Eggman, and iconic characters such as Red Sonic, Pink Sonic, and White Sonic. Shadow, though? Everyone knows Shadow. But does popularity equal quality? Does Shadow really deserve his own year? And is a year for any character a good idea, considering what happened to our boy Luigi? It's time for me to give you my honest thoughts on the year of Shadow. So the first and probably biggest thing we're getting for the year of Shadow is Sonic X Shadow Generations. Guys, Sonic and Shadow are definitely going to make out in the end. I know it's real, my uncle works at Sega. Now, at first, I thought this was a whole new game, where we just follow Shadow's side of the story throughout the whole timeline. But at some point I learned it was actually a remake of Sonic Generations with an extra side mode added in. This is certainly a decision. Not one that I can say I like. Generations is available on most major modern platforms. Sure, it's not on the Switch, but a quick little port could do the trick. This decision to take an existing game and add on to it just rubs me the wrong way. We've already had a Shadow the Hedgehog game. Sure, nobody liked it, but in concept, I think we can all agree it was awesome. And it's possible to make a good sequel to a mediocre or bad game. That's why we even have games like Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Mega Man 2, Chirpy the Penguin 2, games that sprouted out into series that each found themselves a fanbase. But hey, maybe a Generations remake is a good thing. Maybe they'll actually improve this game, even though it doesn't need improvement. We'll see how things go. The next thing is kinda minor. In Sonic Superstars, you can now put Sonic in a little Shadow the Hedgehog costume. It's a cute addition. It doesn't change anything functionally as far as I know, but I don't think it needs to. One thing I find odd is that they didn't just make a Shadow model and let you straight up play as Shadow instead of Sonic in a Shadow costume. But whatever. Look at little baby Sonic in his Shadow costume. He thinks he's so edgy and rebellious. Another sort of minor thing I'd like to talk about, the Sonic Symphony. This is an orchestra that's going around the world playing Sonic music for anyone cool enough to listen to it. I went there, and you better believe Shadow was a part of it. Skip to this timestamp if you don't want me to spoil what happened. But anyway, Shadow wasn't really mentioned until post-intermission, but after the intermission, his presence was known. They literally opened the second act with I Am All of Me. That was absolutely insane. They didn't really play any other Shadow-centric songs, except for, debatably, Live and Learn, but it was still nice seeing the guy get attention. Pretty much all of his music goes hard, so I was glad to hear the bangers I did. Last thing before I talk about Sonic Movie 3, the Sonic the Hedgehog YouTube account. Yes, only YouTube, because I don't have TikTok or Twitter. Here, we've gotten both videos and community posts about the stuff going on this year. One of the videos was Fearless, a short story about a girl using Shadow's mentality in real life to deal with her problems. It was cool. As someone who's also operated by thinking like a video game character, or at least my headcanon of them before, this was kinda relatable. It was also just kinda heartwarming seeing how a goofy little video game can really influence someone's life. Another video was the top 10 Shadow moments. This is definitely a reference to my top 10 Chirpy the Penguin moments video, but I digress. I think Sonic Team actually did pretty well representing the general public's opinion while still pulling moments from all of Shadow's history. It's like they represented all of him. It's like he is all. The last thing on the YouTube channel I'd like to talk about is this community post, where I learned that Shadow's motorcycle is real. I don't like motorcycles, at all, but this is awesome. I'll be honest, most corporations kind of flop when they try to be all hip with the kids, but the Sonic the Hedgehog social media team is surprisingly decent at not making us cringe. Obviously, no one's perfect and no one pleases everyone, but I do find myself chuckling at a lot of the stuff they put out. Okay, I know what everyone came here for. What does the funny Cuphead kid think about Sonic Movie 3? Well, I can't say I'm surprised it's happening, that's for sure. Sonic is huge. Sequels make huge things more huge faster. And since Shadow is huge, they put Huge Shadow in the huge movie sequel to make it even more huge. But in all seriousness, while he deserves to be a part of this series, his inclusion does make me fear that Sonic 3 will kinda be a rehash of Sonic 2. Let me explain. In the second Sonic movie, we get introduced to Knuckles. He means well, only wanting to protect his precious emerald, and he's a very strong boy. Unfortunately, he's manipulated by Dr. Robotnik to use that strength against Sonic. In fact, his power is enough to rival, possibly even defeat Sonic in a one-on-one. Fortunately for everyone, Sonic and friends are able to show Knuckles the error of his ways, and they all beat up Robotnik. The end. Now, if we replace every instance of Knuckles' name in that sentence with Shadow's, it still makes sense, doesn't it? Shadow could also get manipulated. He'll inevitably end up fighting Sonic and most likely humbling the dude, but then he'll turn around and face the real villain in the climax. This wasn't a problem in Knuckles and Shadow's game debuts because A, there were several games in between Sonic 3 and Sonic Adventure 2, and B, SA2 introduced characters other than Shadow to stir up the plot. Shadow didn't only interact with Sonic and Robotnik. He made a connection with Rouge, who in turn had some run-ins with Knuckles. Amy was there too, etc. It doesn't look like Rouge or Amy will be in the movie. In fact, I don't know if the plot will even be close to as complex as that of Sonic Adventure 2. But hey, if they put Crush 40 in the movie, I'm rating it a 10 out of 10 despite any flaws. Crush 40 is love. Crush 40 is life. That's all for this video. Remember to like the video if you enjoyed it, comment below your own thoughts on the Year of Shadow, and have a great day. One last thing, I'm obliged to mention that 2027 is going to be the year of Infinite. I know this because my uncle works at Sega. I'll see you later, and this is JRenzo10, signing off.